If that person doesn't thoroughly clean me, then we have a problem. It's a routine. Wash, rinse, dry. Wash, rinse, dry.
It's really hard for Ashley to take a shower. I have to help her because if I'm not there, she has to ask her husband to do it. And she doesn't want to do that. I think Ashley deserves a better life. This weight problem has kept her from doing everything she wants to do.
Imagine not being able to comfortably lift yourself from the bed every morning, or on most mornings, you need assistance to get yourself up from the bed. Trust me, it's a very depressing feeling, and Jacky goes through that every single day. She wakes up and feels like she's carrying a planet in her stomach. Here is how her story begins.
In the cabin that they own. In this cabin, it's been very hard to take a shower in. This sticks out so far, like sometimes I have to keep the doors open.
But did not realize how bad her health was and how hard it was going to be for her to get around. For the most part, she's just not able to participate in those things that we enjoy.
I would honestly hate my life if I were in Jacky's shoes. It feels like she can't even do anything for herself. Her grandma even says that she never thought Jacky would ever end up like this. Thank goodness she had them around. Life would have been hell.
My grandparents, she's like the only person that I see regularly.
All right, Jacky. I think that's everything.
I love the taste of the food. All this looks so delicious.
It does. It smells so good.
There's so many flavors. It makes me feel happier. I've been this way my whole life.
One thing we can't deny is the fact that Jacky has beautiful people who love her. Her aunt basically does anything she wants. Jacky even mentioned that her aunt always wanted a daughter, and since she couldn't get one, Jacky became her daughter. Isn't that beautiful?
Then my father had a really big anger problem. He would get mad to the point where he was punching holes in the wall. And he was always yelling at my mom. And he was always upset that she was drinking.
That is just sad. Jacky says that her life was growing up with just nothing to write home about. Her mom was a drunk who could not quit, and her dad had anger issues. It got so bad that her dad would punch holes in the wall anytime he saw her mom drunk.
Getting a job at my size was hard. But I eventually was accepted and got hired on at a grocery supercenter. And then I realized that was really hard being always on my feet, and then little kids looking at you like they would point and laugh. Eventually I got hired on for doing customer service, basically where I had to sit all day.
I mean, what was she expecting though? Being that fat and getting a job that needed her to always be on her feet was not going to be easy. But how long can she continue to struggle with her body like this? She's already over 600 pounds.
Lymph leaking out of her legs and then setting up infections, and that's kind of scary. If she doesn't lose weight within the pretty near future, I think.
Done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That is just heartbreaking. Her aunt says that she has been to the hospital twice for cellulitis, and if she isn't careful with the way she eats, she could lose her life in the near future. And yet, Jacky still won't stop eating. Doesn't she care about her health?
Because I'm at a point now. Every day things are getting a little bit harder. My stomach is going lower and lower. And even though I'm trying to push past that, I can see with my own eyes. I'm not that far away from fully being shut in.
Finally, she decides to do something about her weight. After going through so much pain and taking the time to think about how things could get really bad in the long run, she decides it's time to take her health seriously. Let's hope she follows through.
It's going to be really painful, I think.
Take your time, baby. You got it, baby?
Yeah. Okay.
At some point, I wasn't sure she was going to fit into the car. How do you even watch yourself grow to this extent? But can you really blame her? She lost her parents at a very young age. Jacky and her granddad are heading to see the doc who's going to help her with her condition.
Sorry, I've been using baby powder.
Well, this is where your body stores that extra fat, make it heavier, and then pull more down. The only way to get rid of this is to lose some weight.
Okay.
Okay. All right, you can get rest. So what have you done to lose weight?
I've been going to a gym.
Exercise is not a factor in your weight loss.
Dr. Now could not have said it any better for real. When you get this fat, the gym can't do much, if we're being honest. If she really wants to cut down some of her extra fat before getting surgery, she needs to cut down her food intake. But can she? She's already 710 pounds, for crying out loud.
Normally, I set up the pre-made stuff on my weekends and then eat them throughout the week for my lunches. I get like mushrooms, tomatoes, carrots, and then I just stick them all together into the little Tupperware that I get.
Wow! Seems like Jacky is determined to get rid of the excess fat she's carrying. She stopped eating all the unnecessary junk she does and now adds a lot of vegetables to her food. Aside from that, she goes on walks with her aunt. She might make the cut for surgery after all.
And I want it to be a lot. And I'm scared of what happens if it's not.
Jacky Rogers?
Last time I weighed 689, and Dr. Now wanted me to lose 70 pounds in 2 months. So if I did that, I'd be down to 619 today.
Your weight today is 669.
That's something, but it's not enough.
Like she said, it's something, but it's not enough. Dr. Now needs to get down to at least 619 pounds before he is ready to take her in for surgery. Checking her weight, and she's just a few pounds over 619. Will she be able to get to 619 pounds?
The scale was showing that I gained weight instead of lost it.
Yes, I can see that. You gained 17 pounds. Why?
Just with depression going on, and then my...
But I'm only giving you one more chance. If you don't lose your weight by the next appointment, then there is nothing more we can do for you. Okay, I'm gonna set up the psychotherapy for you.
Oh, he is pissed. Dr. Now is disappointed with Jacky. Instead of losing weight so she can meet the requirements for surgery, she's adding more weight. She blames it on the fact that her dad's burial date came up and it made her depressed. Well, doctor, Now doesn't care?
Jacky, you've had so much exposure to death.
I still don't know what to do. I don't know how to move forward.
I see, the emotion's there, but are you protecting me from the emotion, or are you protecting you from the emotion?
I don't want to cry.
You don't want to cry?
I feel embarrassed.
Okay. I don't think you should be embarrassed at all. Jacky, I would be worried about you if you weren't crying right now.
Now that's why she has not been able to bring herself to lose weight. She's been bottling up all her emotions. Dr. Now referred her to a psychiatrist so she could feel better about herself and hopefully gain the confidence to work on herself.
She should be able to lose 15 to 20 pounds every month until she gets to her target weight if she stays on track. We still have a long road ahead with Jacky, but I'm hopeful we can keep her going and potentially make it to her target weight in the next 12 to 18 months.
Isn't that lovely? Dr. Now was able to get her to cut down to a size where she could have her surgery. She finally gets her surgery done, and things are looking like they would turn out for the best.
It's been about a month since my surgery, and I'm doing really well according to Dr. Now. And Dr. Now says that's good, because my surgery weight was a little bit higher than what he usually sees. But I lost another 41 pounds since my surgery, and I'm really excited about that. Hello?
Hi, what time did Sharon say she wanted to go to that safari?
Here's Cynthia, whose weight is already above 600 pounds. Every morning for her felt like a scene from a horror movie. She would wake up with constant pains and body aches that left her unable to do anything, and her journey began like this.
When I wake up in the morning, I start hurting because the pain is intense. My ankles are swollen all the time. My body is pretty stiff because I haven't moved all night, so it's hard for me to walk. I try not to do a whole lot of moving around because sometimes when I do too much walking, I break out in hives on my leg.
That's a very horrible feeling, trust me. Having to be trapped in your own body, I would lose my mind if I were in her shoes. Her weight problem got so bad that even her family members started to feel like she was a burden.
Once I get out the shower, my daughter comes in and she'll clean out the back of my legs because my arms are too short to reach.
Mom, she tries to do everything. She tries not to be lazy. She tries to do a lot, but she can't.
You call helps a lot. She is a 40-year-old woman in an 11-year-old's body.
Isn't Cynthia lucky to have such a sweet daughter? Imagine having to go through this all by herself. It would definitely have been crazy. But her weight problem didn't just start. Right from when she was in 5th grade, she noticed that she was way bigger than most of her schoolmates.
I was probably in like a women's 20 by the time I was in 4th and 5th grade. But my family never made a big deal about my size.
Size was something that was seen as, kind of a birthright In our family, we love to eat. There was a kind of a running joke that if you were big, you were Wells.
Of course, she was going to be bullied. Kids back in the day were never really nice to each other. Cynthia's weight was getting to her in all kinds of ways. The worst of them all was the fact that she could not play with her kids as much as she wanted to.
I just can't do much. So I have to watch from the parking lot. I can see the benches in the playground area, but they're too far for me to get to. And there's nothing between for me to stop and rest.
On a scale to 1 to 10, how much I would like my mom to be out here is 100. It makes me kind of sad seeing my mom standing by the car and she doesn't get to play with us.
This has to be every mother's nightmare. I mean, who wouldn't want to spend time with their kids? You know what was more annoying about Cynthia's situation? It was the fact that she couldn't stop herself from eating and adding more weight. Take a look.
I stopped to get a snack. Hi, I need 3 large jalapeno colache, 2 glazed twists, a donut hole, a small orange juice, and a large one. I am a special education teacher. And being a teacher requires being on your feet all day. But when I get to work, I can't even make it in the building into my classroom without stopping.
If she loves her body, she better slow down with all the junk she's feeding her body. After having several fights with her brother, Cynthia finally realized she had to find a way out of her situation. So, she paid a visit to doctor. Now, and this was how the visit played out.
And I have some pretty unhealthy eating habits. I eat in excess if, it's just something that I really enjoy. I eat a lot of it.
So you don't get full?
I get full, but if it's something I enjoy, I'll just keep eating.
All right, anybody else in your family is overweight?
Everybody in my family is overweight.
He's not.
He is. He's probably the smallest one.
I mean, isn't he right? It's pretty incredible that she can take care of all her kids with her weight. Anyway, the doc told her that she had just 30 days to lose 30 pounds, or else he wasn't going to approve her to get her weight loss surgery done. Is she going to be able to lose 30 pounds?
24 pounds. I am 6 pounds short. I don't know how the doctor's going to react, but I hope at least he sees I'm trying.
I'm still proud of you, though.
How y'all doing?
Good, and you?
All right, so you lost 24 pounds. Tell me about your eating habit and what changes you made.
Well, she sure didn't meet her target to get approval for her surgery. But was that going to stop her from putting in the work? Oh, you can bet it wasn't. She actually did put in the work, and guess what? She got her surgery done. But I must tell you, it was a lot of work for the surgeons.
Today we are attempting to perform a sleeve gastrectomy in Cynthia. We have to be very careful not to do anything to push her body over the limit, but we also have to work fast. Turn the room lights off, because the longer she's under, the greater the chances of a fatal event occurring. During gastric sleeve operation, we remove 70 to 80% of the stomach.
That was not a pretty scene. Oh well, she had a lovely surgery at the end of it all. All that was left for her to do was recover properly and try everything possible not to end up in her previous situation. Let's hope she can do that.
You can show me your scars?
I'm not finna show you my scars.
How is she doing? Because I'm only going to get a certain amount of information.
I'm good.
The worst pain that she has is probably when she sleeps because she can't get comfortable.
Take the pain medication to help you relax.
Clarence, that's okay. Pain medication is not going to fix me being able to sleep on my stomach.
If you think the previous case was horrible, wait till you see this one. Gary, a 32-year-old guy, can't stand up from his bed. Oh, you heard me right. Every morning, someone literally has to come and clean him up, bring him to do basically everything for him. I'm telling you, it's a situation that's worse than horrible. His story begins like this.
Sometimes when I wake up, I feel like getting up and going to the kitchen or hopping in the shower, but I can't do those things because I'm too heavy to get out of this bed. I can't even get out of bed.
Alrighty then, Gary. I've got this here.
How do you even watch yourself get to this level? I just can't understand it. This guy probably eats like 100 times in one day. Imagine if he did not have his doctors come around to help him out. I wonder what life would be like for him. It's unbelievable.
I was pushing 200 pounds. One time, I was overhearing everyone talking when they thought I wasn't home about how bad I was doing with my weight. It made me cry. That's when I first remember eating purely for comfort. And that was when the demons inside me were unleashed.
At least we know where his problem started from. How do you weigh that much by the age of 10? Is that even possible? Gary says that his mom was the reason he turned out this way. She never controlled what he ate. If he wanted anything, he always got it, and sadly, in ridiculous amounts.
And I didn't realize it. I really didn't.
I stopped composing and arranging, and I started to lose sight of my regular life outside of using. Whole pizzas back to back, 10 burgers in 24 hours. It was bad.
I mean, can you blame him for running to his mom and crying? If we're being honest, she's the reason for the whole thing. How do you eat 10 burgers in 24 hours? That is just insane on all levels. Aside from adding so much weight, does he know his heart has got to do extra work? That's just horrible parenting.
At least I did. Then it got to the point where I got too fat to be able to get out of bed. It's coming up on 9 months since that day, and I'm getting tired of spending all day, every day in bed. My mobility has worsened.
He is one lucky young man. Yes, his mom was the major issue with him growing this fat, but we can't deny the fact that she loves her son. Even with his size, she doesn't stop showing him that motherly love. It's beautiful to see, but he needs to stop eating.
When I saw him bedbound for the first time, couldn't get out the bed, couldn't go to the bathroom, I was hurt, because I've been working with Gary for years, helping him with these type of situations. And
am I glad to hear that? He finally understands that if he goes on with his excessive eating, things are going to worsen in the long run. He decides it's fine to meet Dr. Now and see if he has any good chances of getting better. For his sake, let's hope Dr. Now says something positive.
It's time for me to change, and I'm willing to take the sacrifice of, not eating as much, to get better results.
And the only way that you're going to be able to lose weight and get out of the bed is going to be you to lift up your stomach to get out of this bed.
Right.
And if you don't get out of the bed, there's not much I can do for you.
Haha, better said than done, Gary. Better said than done. Of course, being unable to get out of the bed, he speaks to Dr. Now. Through his laptop, he tells the doc that he is ready to do whatever it takes to get better. It's not going to be easy, but let's have some faith in Gary.
But if you follow the diet and you're actually 745, then you should be in lower 600 in 2 months. And losing that weight and working along with PT should get you out of that bed.
Okay, right.
All right, Gary, we'll start you on the diet.
Ha ha! Am I the only one getting the feeling that he didn't like that? Dr. Now says he has to be able to get out of bed first before he is going to see him. The look on Gary's face did not look like he was excited to hear that. Well, if he wants to be better, he has to put in the work. But getting out of bed seems like an impossible task.
As you move your feet, that's it. Press down into the band like you're pushing on the gas pedal. That's it. There you go. And then push down. Good. I'd say his prognosis is great as long as we keep moving forward with the standing.
I honestly find it hard to believe that Gary is going to be able to get himself out of that bed. I mean, he hasn't moved in God knows how long. Getting him out and ready to work on his exercises is not going to be easy. At least he wants to. Let's see how far he can go.
Don't close your eyes. Hello. Shoulders back. He's strong. He can pull himself up in bed. He can lift his limbs. He can pull himself up on his feet. He has the motivation. He has a positive.
Ha ha ha. He actually stood up. Impressive. Looks like he might have some hope after all. Even Gary could not believe he stood up. Yes. It was just for a couple of seconds, but at least he was able to get himself out of bed. In my books, that's progress. But it doesn't end there.
So what's going on with you? How is your ability to get out of bed and walk?
I can get out of bed, but to move my legs and to walk has been a very hard obstacle for me.
So how far are you able to walk with PT?
Dr. Now did not like that answer, that's for sure. Gary has not made much progress with standing and walking out of bed, and Dr. Now is not happy about that. He felt that by now Gary would be able to Kobe around, but sadly, that is not the case. It looks like it's not as easy as he thought it would be.
But you need to cut back on your eating habit and get your weight back down as much as you can.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
Taking some steps.
Right, okay.
Yes.
1 month?
Yeah, 1 month.
Not 2?
No, 1 month. You're running out of time. And already gave you 2 months.
Does this guy even want to lose weight? Dr. Now initially gave him 2 months to meet his target, and he failed. Was he really expecting that he would get another 2 months? Newsflash. Dr. Now does not fool around. You're either in or out. No middle grounds.
This is the first time I had a change of scenery in a while.
That's it.
I'm excited, but I'm also nervous. But at least I'm in good hands. And I'm hoping Dr. Now let me come down to Houston. That's all I really care about right now. I'm just keeping my eyes on the prize.
I know you're speechless. Trust me, I also am. Look at how many people and all the stress it took to get Gary out of bed. Wow, I could never wish this on anyone for real. He is just fat. Anyway, Dr. Now is ready to see him. Now he has to travel down to the hospital. Can he make it?
Hey, Mommy.
Oh, okay. You getting ready to get your weigh in?
Yeah, excited.
You want me to hold your phone?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'm here at the local clinic Dr. Now had me go to, and I'm about to find out my weight.
Now that is high. Even Dr. Now won't want to hear that he weighs that much. It's written all over his face. He is not happy at all. He thought that he would be way less than that. But what was he expecting? He hasn't stood up from that bed in months.
Hello, Dr. Now.
Hey, Gary, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So we got you to the clinic. We shouldn't have had to get so much help for you. But I gotta run some tests on you and make sure there's nothing going on with you that's gonna lead to a medical emergency soon.
Well, there you have it. Dr. Now is not happy about his progress. It even feels like he went on to add some additional weight. Is he going to be able to lose his weight? It honestly seems like he won't. He is wasting so much time.
And I'm nervous to find out if I lost weight or not. I was 764 pounds on my last weigh-in. So that means if I lost 70 pounds, I would be down to 694 today.
Okay, today you weighed 759.30.
A second time? He still hasn't lost weight? At this point, he might as well just give up. He has had so many chances to work on himself, and for some reason, it seems like he just can't make the cut for surgery. Well, let's hear what the doc has to say about his second failed attempt.
But that's a little progress, but...
Gary, just listen. When you're 759 pounds, 6 pounds is a fluctuation of weight. It's not weight loss.
I know, I understand.
Okay? So every time you step on the scale tomorrow, you may be 5 pounds over.
Well, you heard the doc. He is not happy about the situation, but he decides to give Gary his third and final chance. It seems like the doc really wants him to reach his goal. I really hope he meets the cut this time.
Because I'm gonna do this no matter what, to make sure my legs are getting stronger and stronger, and so that I get better at walking. I know Dr. Now is not gonna give me another chance after this. It's do or die time. This is where I gotta dig deep and give it everything I got. Because if I don't, I can end up losing a lot more than a game.
Ow! Look at Gary go. He really is putting in the work. Looks like all the scolding Dr. Now gave him is starting to pay off. But is he going to make the cut for surgery this time around? Well, let's find out.
But I'm feeling good because this is the hardest I've ever worked. I got all kinds of weight loss waiting for me in the future. I just gotta get there first. And now's the time, so that's what I'm gonna do. My progress this year might not have been what it should have been.
Man, that is just discouraging. It's like every time he tries to take out the fat in his body, it just keeps coming back. It's almost impossible not to feel sad for him. You can see he wants to lose weight, but he just can't get himself to do it.
And this is going to be only until you refuse PT or skip PT, then we're going to stop at PT as well.
Well, I'll be working hard, so I'm gonna make it to Houston.
Well, if you work hard and lose enough weight that you can come to Houston without medical transport, then we'll work with you.
Most times, some of these guys never know how much damage or harm they bring to themselves, all in the name of satisfying a craving. They keep feeding their bodies with junk and eventually end up in situations that could almost end their lives. This was how Ashley R's story began.
I thought I would have my white picket fence, I'd have kids, but my life is nothing like that. It's a nightmare. My entire body is in constant pain. I'm completely miserable. It's a struggle to just move at this weight.
Do you need me to help you up?
I can't do anything on my own.
I mean, what could be worse than feeling the way Ashley R feels? No day went by in Ashley R's life where she did not shed a tear about how she looked. To make things even worse, she always had to ask for help whenever she wanted to do anything.
I cry in the shower because it's just painful. It is painful sitting there. It is painful holding myself up. It is painful when my mom scrubs my back.
It's really hard for Ashley to take a shower. I have to help her because if I'm not there, she has to ask her husband to do it. And she doesn't want to do that. I think Ashley deserves a better life.
Trust me, you do not want to find yourself in Ashley R's shoes. The funny thing about Ashley R's situation was the fact that when she was much younger, her parents noticed signs that she was going to have a weight problem. How did that happen? They noticed that Ashley R. was the only chubby kid in her class.
But I always assume it's baby fat. You know, it's gonna go away.
Back in the days, we didn't think that was something wrong with Ashley. We thought that was just part of life, that she was healthy and she was just loved to it. We never thought that was gonna be a problem later on in her life.
I gained some weight as I got older, but I really started to gain around 7th grade.
Wow. That must have been one hell of a traumatic situation. I mean, why would her uncle do such a thing? That's just sad. Moving on, when Ashley R. met her husband at the time, how much she weighed didn't matter. But over the years of their marriage, things started to change.
What I really loved about her was her sense of humor, her charisma, her eyes.
We did things, it was like a normal couple, but each year I kept gaining more weight, so we had to stop our outings, we had to stop doing what we normally do because I wasn't able to do it anymore.
It's normal for every husband to take care of his wife, but in her husband's case, he might need to get paid because he does everything literally. What was even more annoying was the fact that, despite her size, she still couldn't stop eating, and this was the reason she gave.
I feel numb, and it's better than feeling stressed. Every time I get out of the car, my stomach is so large that it presses on the horn. I feel guilty for doing this to myself, and I'm ashamed of what I've become. I'm barely even making it to work at this point, and I know I'm not even going to be able to do this soon.
You don't need me to tell you how much she hates her body after that. Anyway, she finally made a bold step and decided to pay a visit to doctor. Now, even before she got to the hospital, she was already terrified of what the doc was going to say. Well, this was how her visit went.
So what seems to be the biggest challenge with your eating habit?
I'm usually just snacking all day long.
So why are you doing that?
Because I'm hungry. I know I shouldn't eat like I do, but in everything I eat, I feel so guilty about eating it. You know, I know that I'm not supposed to be eating, sweets or sugary things, but I crave them, and at this point, I know that I need weight loss surgery.
That does not sound comforting one bit, but he had to be very sincere with her. She was killing her body with all the food she was consuming, and if she didn't stop, she was not going to make it to 40. Listening to all that, she put in the work and finally got approved to have her surgery.
Okay.
All right, so you lost 54 pounds.
Yes.
So how is your eating habit now?
I measure everything, I weigh everything in ounces, make sure the portions are under control. I have more protein, and now I don't snack at all.
Okay, super. Ashley's done well this month. Losing 54 pounds has demonstrated that she's able to control her eating habit.
That has to be the best news she has heard in a long time. Anyway, the surgery day came, and Ashley R. had a very successful surgery. All that was left now was for her to heal and try to maintain a healthy life. But for Ashley R., it wasn't as easy as she hoped it would be.
It's been hard trying to walk again, but you gotta walk through the pain. I feel like my stomach's like compressed like this, and when I stand up, it slowly releases.
That's good.
It's just, I guess, baby steps at this point. I wish I had my entire family here, but I have Daniel next to me.
Thankfully, she has her husband by her side to help her make a quick recovery. Imagine her having to go through the healing process alone. She would have lost her mind. Even after the surgery and drastic weight loss, Ashley R. still had issues with her eating habits.
So welcome to my office. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your situation and how you ended up here.
Well, I mean, I've been battling with my weight my entire life, and I had weight loss surgery.
Okay. How's it been for you since the surgery?
I feel like I'm disappointed in myself and my body and the way that I'm recovering, because before my surgery, I was exercising and I was so energetic.
Sure.
And now I'm just really uncomfortable with the nausea and the fatigue.
This looks really yummy.
He's over 600 pounds, and he's off.
Steven's never gonna change. Before he was on the drugs, he was still a bad person.
Slicing the hardest challenge yet, tried to help.
Steven's father had reached out to several local hospitals, and all of them told him that his son's condition was one they couldn't handle. He wasn't only weighing over 600 pounds, but also had a psychological disorder as well. After spending over 3 days on the road, they were finally able to arrive at Dr. Nauseraden Hospital.
I'm in a lot of pain, and I could really use some pain medicine.
For pain medication, and his body language shows that very addictive and pathological personality here.
Talk to him first. Hold on.
Justin, all the lab work back and everything look okay. He's looking us in us through the camera.
Steven's condition was so bad to the extent that his brother didn't want to be anywhere near him. Steven's condition had taken a toll on the entire family, and no one felt happy being around him. His behavior in the hospital was nothing short of disruptive and manipulative.
I need somebody in my room immediately. I want this light off to get people to respond around.
We're starting to develop some issues. His pathological behavior started. You're done here. She have an emergency back.
Please, I want.
Steven will cry and he'll beg, but the reality is he doesn't care about changing.
To make things worse, Steven had gotten addicted to pain medications. At any chance he got, he would lie, claiming that he was in so much pain when, in the actual sense, all he wanted were pain medications, and that just didn't sit right with Dr. Nozaradan. His situation just kept going from bad to worse. It's unbelievable.
Steven is abusing the system to get painkillers. And that behavior is not for his overeating does. Steven, you're lying about everything you're doing, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm suspending you from the drug addiction program.
Justin moved on with his life. For him, it felt like a dream coming true because he was finally able to open his dream store without having to worry about his brother. Back when they stayed together, Steven would constantly bully and manipulate him into doing things he didn't want to do, and it was just awful.
I'm really excited today because we are finally opening up my hobby store.
This is a big deal for Justin. And with Steven no longer here, he's made 2 good friends already.
A little bit of spray paint, you should be all golden.
It feels really good to start a career in a business. Since Steven left, things have been better here because he's a big bully that just tortured me all day.
After checking out of rehab, he went back to his default setting and kept calling the hospital emergency room so they could give him some pain medication. It was obvious he had made zero progress with his pain medication addiction, and that only got Dr. Nozaradan upset. Steven became the most dysfunctional patient Dr. Nozaradan had ever seen.
If Steven thinks he can come here and try to get some painkiller, your days of manipulating the system and getting to your head. Because if you don't, you're going to end up either dead.
I'm at Dr. Now's and I'm about to find out how much I've lost over the last few months. I'm just hoping for a really good weight loss to show him today.
Dysfunctional patient I ever seen in my life.
Finally, Steven started to respond to treatment, and for a while, things started to look very promising. Justin saw how much progress his brother was making and was inspired to start his own weight loss journey.
Then when you come down here, I'm going to check your weight, then hopefully when I 60, okay?
Okay. I've adjusted my diet, so I'm hoping I lost 60, 70 pounds. And I'm hoping that I get approved for my surgery.
Gained 43 pounds in past year. He hasn't been honest with me or himself this past year.
Steven was making a lot of progress, and it was honestly very surprising considering how he started. He was doing it all by himself, as he had no one by his side while he tried to lose weight. But one thing was for sure, it wasn't so easy for him to push through without his pain medications.
I'm still working on getting my life so hard without painkillers. I don't have anyone to take care of me, but I've been learning to take care of, and I've gotten pretty good at it. So that means cleaning up after a little exercise too.
After months of not speaking to Dr. Nozaradan, Justin finally decided to reach out and tell the doctor how much progress he had made while he was away. He was so focused on building his dream store that he felt there was no point coming into the hospital since he was already losing so much weight.
Just give it a minute here. All right, Justin, looks like 432 pounds off you.
I thought as much as the weight I was supposed to lose to get to the goal. But that amount of weight loss is good enough. I feel really good right now. I gotta call Dr. Now to tell him.
Call him. You have to call.
Guess whose turn it was to reach out to Dr. Nozaradan? After 2 years of dropping out of the Dr. Nozaradan weight loss program, Steven decided to talk to the doctor about the progress he had made and how he was coping with his medication addiction.
Steven, how you doing?
All right. How are you doing?
Well, so I'm looking at your charts and so last I saw you 550 pounds. So how you doing?
I'm all right. I've regained, so...
So what is your weight now?
It's about like 518.
Dr. Nozaradan advised Steven that he wasn't going to force him to continue the program because it was pretty obvious he wasn't making so much progress all by himself. But if he ever wanted to resume the program, he was always welcome and would be received with open arms.
I can certainly try, yeah.
That pizza for you?
Yeah, sometimes, most of the time.
So things haven't changed?
And as far as my brother, like, oh.
This is Lupe's story. Lupe is so fat that her fat literally almost choked her to death. That is right, she had to get a separate surgery to remove the excess fat from her neck so that she would not literally be strangled to death by her own flesh. Is there anything worse than living in fear of your own body? Oh well, this is how her story begins.
Hey, time to get up. Gotta get up now.
Being this overweight, everything I do is hard and it's a struggle. Things are so hard for me. I've lost motivation to do anything for myself.
And my body's starting to break down.
My weight is taking a toll on my heart, my kidneys, my liver, my legs, everything. I'm in pain and I feel helpless, worthless.
Her weight has made her diabetic, and she has to take insulin shots in the morning. To make things worse, she has so much fat around her neck that it is literally suffocating her. She had to do a chin tuck before she got on My 600-Pound Life to solve that problem. But that is not her biggest problem.
It changed my entire life. So now my bed is my restroom, my place where I take a shower, where I do everything.
You good?
Words can't explain how much I hate being in this bed. I need to be taken care of 24/7 because I can't do anything for myself.
Can you imagine living like that? Lupe says she feels humiliated living this way. And who wouldn't? Having people take care of you, not because of some unfortunate disability, but because of obesity, is demoralizing in the worst ways. But despite this, Lupe cannot kick her unhealthy eating habits.
I lied to him and I told him I was like 200 pounds, but we got really close. And I told him, I'm gonna send you a picture, but I understand if you never want to talk to me again.
Normally, I'm not attracted to big people. So when I saw the picture of Lupe, I was upset. But I already started to care about her.
I want another half.
Lupe is not blind to the fact that her eating habits are unhealthy, but she says food is her comfort and she just has to have it. However, her husband needs her to lose weight so that he can have an actual relationship with her, and she needs to lose weight to avoid sudden death, so they go to speak to doctor. Now,
it's clear that Lupe is in very bad state. She's short of breath, she cannot walk, she cannot stand, she cannot move, she cannot breathe. But at her weight, any number of things could be creating a serious medical issue for her. And if we don't find it fast, it may be too late to save her. We have ruled out blood clots, but her heart is in failure and it's only functioning about 35% capacity right now.
wow, tough love, Dr. Now. But that is exactly what Lupe needs right about now. Tough love. Dr. Now says that Lupe has basically been killing herself, and her husband has been helping her to do that. But isn't that the case with everyone on 600-Pound Life?
At her size, she's been consuming at least 20 to 30,000 calories a day. So we need to get her health under control immediately and turn the situation around with her husband.
Take your time.
Okay. I'm feeling very scared for her because we're really close to her, you know? But I don't believe that she would have lasted much longer if she was still there, just laying in the bed.
Lupe is in very bad shape.
Well, let us see if Lupe will actually make those changes, because they are not easy. Going from consuming 30,000 calories a day to subsisting on just 1,200 calories per day takes near superhuman strength. Does Lupe have that strength?
I'm a little nervous. He wanted me to lose 50 pounds this past month. I'm just hoping I've done it, or that I'm at least close enough for him to approve me for surgery.
This situation may be comical, but it is literally life and death. The more strain she puts her heart under, the likelier it is she suffers some attack that puts an end to her journey.
She's putting a lot of strain on her heart right now. So we're calling an emergency crew to help her get up immediately, because she can easily go to cardiac arrest and there'll be nothing we can do about it. So they need to act fast.
How's it going, ma'am? Did you fall down?
She got stuck in the toilet.
I don't want to fall and hurt myself.
Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and get the fire truck out here, okay, and just to help us out.
Just get me off the toilet.
It is hard, but Lupe eventually does it. Now, let us see how much weight she has lost since she last saw Dr. Now.
All right. Everybody else hands off of it. That's 128 pounds you lost now. That's great. The first day she got here, she couldn't even stand. Now she's making progress. So I'm gonna go ahead and send you home today. And for the next 2 months, I want you to lose another 75 pounds.
Great work, Lupe, but as Dr. Now says, she is not done yet. She has to go below the 500-pound mark if she wants to get that weight loss surgery. Interestingly, Dr. Now says that Lupe might have been able to lose all that weight because her husband was not with her. It is ironic that her caregiver might be the reason she even needs a caregiver, but it is possibly true.
Being in the clinic and having that fear that I'm about to see my weight and it's not going to be low enough, I realized how hard I need to be working for this. I still can't really walk. Well, I'm just moving as much as I possibly can in my bed.
Hey, you tired over there?
I'm done, I'm tired.
You done already? Looking all sexy and stuff with your red shirt on.
Thankfully, Lupe was eventually approved for a gastric sleeve procedure after working hard at losing her weight. But there is another problem. She cannot walk on her own, despite her massive weight loss.
The feeling down here is normal?
Yeah, when I stand up, I can feel like that right now.
Okay. Unfortunately, Lupe got to the point where she's physically losing the ability to stand. That hip joint needs to be probably replaced, and then she needed tendons to be worked out. But the fact that she's willing to try is a good sign.
This is Samantha's story. Now, what is the worst job someone who weighs over 600 pounds can have? Well, I will tell you, the worst job they can have is to get paid to eat on camera, but that is precisely what Samantha does for work. At this point, she is basically eating herself to the grave. Here is how her story begins.
My life is so miserable now because I've let my weight get so out of control that I'm barely functioning, and it's getting harder and worse every single day. And I know I'm very close to becoming bedridden. So, at this point, I wish my life was just a nightmare that I could wake from. But I don't. Instead, I struggle to do what I need to do to survive.
The room is empty because Samantha lives by herself in a one-bedroom apartment. She can hardly do anything on her own, and making it to the bathroom is a chore by itself. She is at a point where it is almost impossible for her to fit through the doors. Unlike LaToya, Samantha has to do everything herself because she does not have someone on hand to care for her.
I've had to go from bathing every day to about every 4 days because I have to work so hard to do it. But even on days when I push myself to do it, some areas I can't even reach without using a stick or something. I have to reach and poke and prod at myself, so it's so hard.
Her biggest fear is that someday she will get to a point where she won't even be able to take care of herself anymore, and that she might just wither away, and that would be the end. How does she even make her food or eat in this condition? Well, she makes do, as you can see.
I have food delivery set up on a schedule starting in the morning. I have to have it brought to me because walking up and down stairs, I'm too weak to do that now. And I'm scared to admit that just walking across the apartment to get the food is almost more than I can handle. Instead of thinking about that,
that is the awful thing about this condition. The bigger people get, the more they reach out for food for comfort, and the more food they reach out to, the bigger they get. It is a never-ending cycle of pain.
Okay. You too. Because more than anything else, it's the feeling of being full that I love. Food is just so good to me. Food can fill me up and make me feel the most comfort that I've ever felt.
Samantha says that food has always been the most important thing in her life, and it is very easy to see why that is the case. Thankfully, Samantha has decided to do something with her life, and she has enlisted Doctor, now to help her see how she can lose her excess weight. But first, she has to figure out how to get into Houston.
There we go. Good. One more step, another step, one more step. Come on. I know. It hurts. I know. I'm sorry. Come on. You're doing great. One more. Come on. One at a time. One more. Let's go.
You just want me to have to give me.
I know. Come on. Let's go.
These are scary.
That's all right. That's all right. We got you. We got you. Come on.
The firemen were extremely helpful, and she was able to get to the hospital on time. She stayed in the hospital for 6 weeks because she had so many health issues related to her weight. While she is in the hospital, Doctor now gets in contact with her through video call and checks on her.
And it sounds like your body is already giving out. So this is a very bad situation, Sam.
I know.
You say that, but you're still eating whatever you want.
And as much as you...
And pretty soon you're gonna hit 1,000 pounds, huh?
I hope not. Every pound that I hear that is added, I'm a realist, and I just assume that if I keep going, my heart's gonna stop and it's not gonna come back.
Unfortunately, Sam has no plans right now, but she has to see Doctor now, and she has to lose weight if she has any plans of living a long life and being there for her daughter. Thankfully, Doctor now has a plan for her, but it will not be easy. He sends her a 1,200 calorie diet plan and tells her that if she follows it, she ought to lose enough weight to be able to see him.
I'm 36 and I've gotten to this point. It's terrifying. Like, I'm just really scared. Like, I'm overwhelmed right now. It's gonna be a lot of things. Food is my entire life. I don't know what I am without food.
It is 4 months later, and now Sam has been discharged from the hospital. She has only managed to lose 40 pounds. Things are still really hard for her, and she still needs a lot of help to move around.
And then I have to have help if I don't want to end up on the floor and in pain. Okay, sideways. The biggest is that Bella helped me find a new apartment on the first floor and move my stuff into it, because trying to make it up a flight of stairs was killing me.
Sam is happy she is back from the hospital, but it means she is living on her own now, and she could start gaining much of the weight that she has lost. She says she has been following the diet, but sometimes it feels futile, and that is so easy to understand.
Really hard to watch my mom like this.
It's so good it makes me want to cry.
Is it actually really that good?
It really is.
It breaks my heart seeing my mom just kind of lose mobility. I don't know how to describe my emotion today. I was excited for her to come home today, but I was also unsure.
A month later, and now it is time for Sam to get her official weight check to see if she can get her surgery. She currently feels she has done enough to make that weight, as she has been starving herself to get there. Unfortunately, just after Samantha returned to the hospital for her weigh-in, a national quarantine in response to COVID was initiated. As a result, a gastric sleeve operation was done in a last-ditch effort to save her life.
However, I appreciate your confidence in us and me to have surgery.
Nobody would ever take a chance on me. I was always told I was too big.
Oh, no.
So thank you for looking at me and saying, okay, maybe she can do it. Because I did it, and here we are. Look at that. Of course.
As you can see, things are really looking up for Sam. Hopefully she can keep the weight off. Let us see what she weighs now.
Before you go?
Weigh in before I go.
We're gonna weigh in. Let me see, this is the best way. Oh, okay. It says 280.2, so this is in kilogram. I'm just gonna do a quick calculation. Oh my God, look, 616 pounds. Good job.
Yay!
Wow.
This is Candi and Brandi's story. Candi and Brandi were born on the same day and could very well die on the same day because they currently weigh over 1,000 pounds combined. The twins have gained that weight together through mutually harmful eating behaviors, but now they plan to lose it. But it isn't so easy, and chances are they will continue their slow trek towards death before they lose any of the weight. This is how their story begins.
We're getting so big, we can barely take care of each other. Everything's a burden. Makes me hate myself. I don't want to have to rely on anybody else, but I have to. We know that it's getting close to our final days and we need to stop it before we get any worse, but it's hard to stop.
Both siblings live with their mother, and to a large extent, you could say she is a contributing factor to their problem. She used to drink a lot, and for her, it felt like a coping mechanism to deal with the daily stress of life. But one thing she didn't frown at was the fact that her kids never said no to food.
You guys want some pancakes?
I tried to stay a part of their lives, and they told me if I stopped drinking, they'd stop with the food. But I can't break my cycle, and they can't break theirs.
After spending 3 days on the road, they finally made it to Dr. Nauseraden's hospital, where they had to check how much they weighed to determine if they were qualified to get their surgeries done. The doctor noticed that their issue was that whenever they felt any type of emotion, either happy or sad, their solution was always to eat. Sad.
Candi and Brandi hide and go to food together. Breaking a dynamic like this is hard. But as twins, this is going to be much harder to address.
We've been doing everything we can to follow the doctor's diet.
Just a little extra cheese there, please.
My sister and I have worked really hard this past month. We need this surgery more than anything.
I'm glad you all lost some weight and
That was impressive, but now they were faced with two separate problems. Candi was at risk of heart failure because her body was abnormally adding weight, and she wasn't helping her condition because she was always eating. Brandi, on the other hand, had a different story.
Candi, your EKG was abnormal. If you continue not to lose weight, your heart failure is going to be imminent. Brandi, because of your lack of progress, I'm now approving you for surgery.
Hopefully the next time we see the doctor, the numbers on the scale will show how much we're committed to this new lifestyle. Over the past month, my sister and I have done everything that the doctor has asked of us. I just really hope that we've lost enough weight.
The twins knew what needed to be done. The question was, were they ready to do it? Well, the answer is yes. They took some time away from the hospital to try and see if they could meet the requirements for their surgeries. By the time they got back to the hospital, even they were shocked by how much weight they had lost over the last couple of months.
Not only are both of us under 300, but we both hit our 60-pound weight loss goals. So I'm hoping that means that we finally get approved to get our excess skin removed. So I know we're both excited right now.
Hello.
Hi.
How y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
All right. So it's good to see you two again and to see that you're both making good progress.
Yep.
Dr. Nauseradin's assessment of them didn't go as well as they had hoped it would. Brandi was immediately cleared to proceed with getting the surgery done, but Brandi needed to lose an extra 30 pounds before surgery so she wouldn't have any complications while being operated on in the surgery room.
But the issue is that you have a bit more fat with your excess skin. So what would be the best is if you lose another 30 pounds before your surgery and we do Brandi's surgery first, okay?
Okay.
So Brandi, I'm approving you for your excess skin removal surgery today.
As they both prepare and spend some time with each other before the days of surgery, something unexpected happens to Brandi. She had always dreamed of wanting to live her life and go on dates with people, but she couldn't do any of that because of how she looked. And now the pregnancy bomb drops.
And Candi and I have been waiting to see what it says. And the test just showed a positive. So I'm pregnant.
Positive.
It already said it. I don't know what to do, and I'm so scared right now. Obviously, that means I can't move ahead with my skin removal.
After having an emotional breakdown, they decided to visit Dr. Nauseradin to discuss the new issue and determine if the surgery could still be done. They were so overwhelmed by the situation that their mother had to come with them to see the doctor. Brandi got another heartbreaking piece of news.
I'm not going to be able to have my surgery.
All right. So what will be the reason for that?
I'm pregnant.
You think you're pregnant or are you sure you're pregnant?
I am.
Yeah, that's good reason not to have surgery. So this was unplanned pregnancy?
Very.
Are you happy about it? If the father knows about pregnancy?
Candi went on to have his surgery, and it was a resounding success. 4 weeks in, and he was already looking like a totally different person. All he felt were the after effects of the surgery, but aside from that, he was good to go. He had to move to another state with his sister. He didn't want to leave her alone, especially with her new situation.
It's been an adjustment having a flat stomach because I don't think I've ever had one. But now that I'm just about recovered, I've decided to go back to Washington with Brandi. And we're starting the packing process now because we know it's going to take a while. We're planning on moving in 5 or 6 weeks or so.
Dr. Nauseradin was happy with the progress the twins had made. He was willing to work with them, even after Brandi's pregnancy. He wished them well and couldn't wait to see them again. I guess if you put in the work, it eventually pays off.
You are small enough to use enormous shoe that you're losing at least 2 pounds. All right. I hope to see you both soon, and I'm proud of both of you.
Thank you. Thank you for your help.
Good luck with the baby, and send me a picture.
I will. Thank you. Thank you.
We're good too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
This is the story of the Perios family. This wasn't the typical situation with people losing weight. Trust me, it wasn't just one person who was trying to lose a ton of weight, but the entire family. The Perios family altogether weighed over 1,000 pounds. And trust me, they needed to lose all that weight as soon as they could. Their weight journey begins like this.
Hi, my name is Rashonda Perios, 783 pounds.
My name is Brandi Perios. My weight is about between 600 and 650.
My name is Clarence Perios. I'm the oldest brother. I'm not quite as big as them, but I'm big, you know.
There's nothing they can do to help us.
For them to get any form of surgery done, they were all instructed by the doctor to lose a certain amount of weight each. Without meeting their weight loss target, they were going to be rejected for surgery.
I want you all to meet Dr. Eder. He is going to assist me with you all. Brandi, I'm approving you today for until you gain half of the weight you gastric sleeve procedure on Brandi. All right? Room light on. Took her first big step today.
After her surgery, Brandi was doing pretty okay and was able to maintain her current weight and not throw all her effort in the bin. Her sister, Rashonda, on the other hand, couldn't meet her target to get her surgery done.
I should be down to at least 434 today.
I'm glad Brandi is staying on track, but I'm very concerned about, we'll start her going to therapy to start working through issues that...
Processing feelings can feel really horrible. Part of the therapeutic process before it gets better.
This time around, the entire family came to check on their weight loss progress at the hospital. Their brother Clarence had already lost enough weight to allow him to have his surgery, so without thinking twice, he had his surgery.
Brandi, your weight loss is slowing, but not enough to be concerned right now. Rashonda, if you stay on track this next month, I'll approve you for weight loss surgery. Working hard on your own. So if you feel like you're ready, I'm approving.
Today we're performing a gastric sleeve on Clarence.
Go forward, go forward. Okay, I can suture it up.
Their situation took a turn for the worse at their next doctor's appointment. Instead of meeting their targets and losing as much weight as they could, they all started to gain more weight, and it was even more difficult for Rashonda because she was the only one out of her siblings who hadn't done her surgery.
Good. All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Doesn't look like y'all's weight stayed on track. Because Brandi, you gained 20, and Clarence, you gained 10, Rashonda, you gained 21 pounds. So all of you going back in your Brandi, you should be losing at least 20 pounds a month. You do that and get under 300 in about 6 months. We can do.
Sounds good.
Rashonda was devastated by the news that she didn't meet up with her target to get her surgery done. I mean, both of her siblings had done theirs, so what exactly was going on? She claimed her energy level was different, and it wasn't so easy for her to lose weight the way her siblings did.
I'm really glad to be getting my weight loss. I feel really nervous because I know I'm and that anything can not letting that shake me. Because I know without this, I don't have much. I'm having faith this would be a new start.
Everyone had finally been able to move on from the surgery phase. Rashonda had a successful surgery, and she was on her way to healing just fine. With all 3 siblings happy and proud of how far they had come, they decided to have a little get-together to celebrate their progress with their loved ones.
So we want that for Rashonda too. I'm just a little nervous being in front of everyone.
Nothing good really lasts forever, right? After celebrating with their family, their journey was about to stop. Physically, everything seemed great, and it loomed like they had made so much progress. But psychologically, that was a different ballgame.
But I'm trying to get back on it right now.
And Ro, what about you?
Last couple of months, I've been stuck in a place where I just want to eat outside my diet, and mostly junk food.
Or where you're compelled to eat outside.
Like, I don't want to do it. It happens. Like, I say I'm not going to do it.
The therapy session turned into a total nightmare. The Perios family was able to get through the phase of having to get their surgeries done. But when it came to the emotional aspect of trying to connect as a family, they were just not there yet.
Let me say something. Let me say on track. The Perios family has a significant amount.
They all decided to go solo in trying to lose weight. They felt being together wasn't going to help them achieve their goals, and they had to disconnect and try to figure out what worked best for them. They came this far. I bet they could even go further.
We came back home and all took a beat to calm down, and then talked about everything and what we want to do. Because I think we're all getting to a place where we're starting to see the...
After the last appointment in the therapy, I came to realize that where I need to be is focused on what will help me keep making my progress, and not on doing things that are a waste and take me off of that focus.
Recently, I've been getting more offers to perform, because I've been working hard to get myself out there. It's hard for me to do things because of my weight. So I rely on my family and friends to help me do what I have to do. Even with all the weight I have on me now, I'm still able to get around and do some basic things myself, like cleaning myself on my own still.
I'm sure you can see what I mean when I say that her eating habits have done so much damage to her body. Irene goes through so much pain and discomfort every morning when she tries to take a shower. The worst part is that she has to have a bath twice in a day because she can't clean all her body parts from one shower.
I had to move in with them because I wasn't able to take care of myself anymore. Usually it's my niece Mimi or my caretaker Cameo that has to help me more. I try to limit it to getting me what I need. But the reality is, I can't do it on my own sometimes. And once I get dressed, I still have to rest a bit. Because of how tired that makes me, I'm exhausted already.
Honestly, it's a good thing that she has family around her that's willing to help her through her situation. Imagine if she was all alone and she had to do all of this. Phew, I'm pretty sure she would have surrendered to her weight a long time ago.
Because when I have any of my favorite foods, all the hurt of me is taken away until the food is gone. You ain't even offered me a piece of chicken.
Do you want a piece of chicken?
Nah, I don't want no chicken. I mean baked chicken. I'm trying to eat healthy for the kids, you know?
You got your children. I don't have my children.
Irene.
I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of praying.
That has to be the cutest thing ever, right? Food might be doing a lot of damage to her body, but one thing we can't argue with is the fact that Irene's family knows her to spoil her and treat her like a baby. Now, I wish I was part of her family.
And I think that's when I became depressed, you know? And that's when I remember the start of my eating. The way it started was at church. Because my mom was a church woman, so she went to church every day of the week. And, you know, there was always food at the church functions.
I mean, that's a lot. Irene's eating problems started when she was very young. She always loved food as a kid, but her making food a coping mechanism started when her parents separated due to the fact that her dad would constantly turn her mom into a punching bag.
With me because they always gave me food, you know. Both my mom and my sister did because with my mom, she took care of us. But she had to work hard to provide that life to me and my sister back then. My mom is from an island near South Africa called Mauritius. And because she always had to work, you know, she gave me fast food to feed me and my sister.
Irene's childhood sounds like a total nightmare. She had the worst high school experience. She was always teased and bullied by her classmates because of her size. Poor Irene. Well, she was able to have boyfriends, so I guess it wasn't that bad.
To have his interest, even though my boyfriend was abusive, I stayed with him. And I got pregnant when I was 16 and had my son when I was 17. That's when I had Jacory. But after I got pregnant and my boyfriend broke up with me, I was a single mother at 17. And with the pregnancy, I put on another 100 pounds.
I take back what I said about Irene having boyfriends. Apparently, she had a boyfriend when she was 16, and he was abusive in every way possible. She got pregnant for him, and when he found out, he broke up with her. Being a mother at that age has to be a lot to handle.
Hanging around the wrong people. That time was my lowest point because all my addictions led me to lose my kid. At that point, Jacory was 18, and I had gone out on his own, and I had my 4 other kids. And someone had reported me because of my addictions. And so CPS came and took my 3 youngest.
Honestly, not a lot of people can survive what Irene went through as a teenager. As a mother, losing your kids because of an addiction has to be the worst thing ever. Thankfully, Irene got sober for her kids. Let's hope she can use that same energy to work on her eating problem.
Even when I'm full, I push myself to finish off the food that I have, to make sure it's all gone so no one will get it. So once I have what I want, I'm gonna eat it all no matter what. And I've never been able to change that, you know? It's good. I did try a diet in the past, like eating salads and fruits, but I don't like how plain it all tastes. So I end up adding like bacon and stuff that I don't need, a whole lot of ranch, a whole lot of cheese.
Man, Irene needs to slow down. I mean, we understand that food is her happy place, but that's a lot of junk food. The sad part about her situation is that she knows it's not good for her body, but she just doesn't know how to stop, and that's the problem.
I'll be able to help me lose all the weight off me, so I can get better for my kids and have a better life. I think I'm around 600 pounds, give or take.
Whenever you're ready.
And at that weight, I'm just not able to function like I need no more. Well, okay. I know that weight is unacceptable, and I'm ashamed I let it get as high as it is. But I'm ready to turn it around now.
To be honest, that's really all that matters. The fact that she wants to make a change shows that there's still some hope. Irene makes it to the hospital, and apparently she weighs over 600 pounds. She's heading to see the doc to know what her faith will be. Let's see how that goes.
This is instruction you need to go over and study to show you what you need to work on it, and this is one for you too. So you read this every day, and here's a list of food to avoid, so you read that every night, okay? What I'm worried about is that Irene could have a severely compromised pulmonary system.
Is it just me, or does that sound scary? Dr. Now says that he is worried that she might have a severely compromised pulmonary system. He wants to run some tests to make sure that she is all good before they proceed with how she's going to cut down on her weight. Let's just hope she's strong enough for what's ahead of her.
Promise I'm gonna try to make it taste
Okay,
like
cool.
something.
Because so far it has been going well. The tasting has been actually well, you know.
I know you're gonna like the meal, but I don't think you're gonna like the workout that's gonna come after. I'm gonna try to get you right this morning.
Oh, cool. She wants me to get to her gym and work with her trainer too, but I haven't worked up where I'm comfortable with being in public like that. So I told her when I get to a better place.
And that's exactly what Irene needs. A friend that's going to stick by her side as she tries to lose weight for her surgery. Irene's friend has been by her side for 15 years, and she doesn't intend on leaving her anytime soon, especially when she has so much she needs to do with her weight.
I'm gonna hand you the ball, and every time you hand it back to me, I want you to give me a goal on why you want to lose this weight, okay?
Okay.
It's very important. Here we go.
I want to be able to be with my children.
Okay.
I want to be a better me for myself.
Okay.
I want to be able to open my own business.
Girl, go.
And what I need to do. I want to be able to...
Man, you just want to have a friend like that. Aside from eating, this is the only person who brings out Irene's happy side, and that's such a beautiful thing to see. Oh well, it's time for her second appointment with the doc. Let's see how that goes.
And I'm hoping it's enough to be able to move ahead and invest with Dr. Now and in his program today. But I know that it's only going to be possible if I have the result I'm supposed to today, where I lost 60 pounds. If I did that, then I have dropped from 603.
Ouch! That can't be real. Irene seemed to be doing so well. So what's going on? She makes it to the hospital for her second appointment, and the scale says that she lost only 5 pounds. How did they happen?
All right, then your goal is the same. Lose 60 pounds in 2 months. And if you do that, then we will move ahead with you and consider surgery.
I will try to do better, I promise, Dr. Now.
Okay, good. How are you doing with your exercises? Is your stamina improving?
No, my back is killing me, and I'm still struggling with being out of breath.
Then you're not really doing those like you should.
Well, she has been given a second chance to make things right. Doctor now gives her another target that he wants her to achieve within the next 2 months. Hopefully she buckles up and gives it all she's got.
Weight loss surgery, so I can get closer to the better life I'm fighting to have.
The resistance band.
Okay, you say do what now?
Put it back how I had it at your feet.
Okay.
Just stretch your arms.
Like this?
Yeah. Or you can do one at a time. Go bring it up.
So no matter what, from now to then, I'm working as hard as my body will let me.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Looks like Irene finally understands what it means to give it all it takes. She's been working out extremely hard, and this time around it feels like the results might be different. But first, let's see what the scale says.
Because I can't tell if I lost enough to have the results I need on the scale. And my last appointment, I only made it down to 598. And the goal I needed was to lose 60 pounds by now. So I need my number to be under 538 from the scale if I made it.
591.
Okay.
It's all right.
I obviously have a lot of disappointment with that progress amount.
At this point, I give up. It's like every time she tries to lose weight, it just blows up right in her face. One thing I know for sure is that Dr. Now is not going to be happy with her progress, and she is going to get some scolding.
Hi, Irene. How you doing?
I'm good considering.
How you holding up? You okay?
Yeah.
So how you been doing with your diet since we talked a couple of months ago?
I've been struggling. I don't think I made as much progress, to be honest with you.
Okay, well, we discussed my concern about that. Because as hard as it's been with everything going on, if you could justify eating junk food and you...
Shannon's life revolves around her bed. She wakes up every morning feeling hopeless, and she goes to bed also feeling hopeless. She hates her life because she's too big to do anything. She can get up now, and it takes a lot to be able to do that. At this point, it's as if she is waiting for her body to give up. Shannon's story starts like this.
All I do is I lay in bed, I sit, and I stare at these walls. I don't turn TV on anymore, hardly. I don't color anymore. I don't do anything that I used to do because it doesn't bring me joy anymore.
Seeing that Shannon has to go through all of this is heartbreaking. You can tell that she hates her life and wishes it didn't have to be like this. Every day she wakes up with a new type of pain. I'm just glad that she has a husband who loves and cares for her.
So Simon always has to be here with me, and I'm completely reliant on him.
Tell me what you want to eat for breakfast, eh?
Maybe some eggs and bacon if you don't mind.
Shannon needs help with pretty much everything that a normal person needs to do. Simple things, really, that we take for granted. She can't do at the moment.
Shannon's husband is such a sweet man. He admits that taking care of his wife has not been easy, but he has come to terms with the fact that he is all she has, and he has to be there for her all the way. That's just beautiful.
All I can think about is eating And that's pretty much all the time. I just want to eat and make the pain go away. And I can't stop that feeling. I don't know how. So I just keep getting bigger and my life just keeps getting worse. My whole life is just staying in this bed and in this room with Simon taking care of me, where I wake up hopeless and go to bed hopeless.
That has got to be the saddest thing ever. Shannon says that she is trapped in an unending cycle where the only thing that makes her happy is the same thing that's killing her and making her life a living hell. Damn, I wonder what made her get to this level.
When her and my dad separated, she left. You know, it was really a big thing in my life, and it really sucked because when Dad and my stepmom were married, things were great. There wasn't a custody battle. They decided that my brothers would go live with her, and I was always a daddy's girl.
Now we're staying to get a clearer picture as to why Shannon is the way she is. When she was much younger, her initial parents split up, and this destabilized her. She doesn't even remember what really happened because, to this day, her parents tell her two different stories.
But my mom had a muscle disease. It's called myotonic dystrophy. So my mom was on disability our whole life, and so she was always tight on money. On top of constantly wanting to eat to feel better, I started getting desperate for food. You know, food was really scarce.
Hold on a minute. Did she just say that her stepdad put a big toe chain around the fridge to stop her from eating? Wow. Believe me, I am genuinely shocked. I wonder how much food she was consuming at the age for them to do something like that.
I went to leave and I hear my mom scream. I turn around to go back up into the trailer, and as soon as I turn around, he's standing right there with a loaded .22 pistol pointed at my head. So finally my cousin stepped in the middle of it and got the gun away from him. I went and left and called the cops. He was arrested, and I thought it was better that I left, so I did.
Oh my goodness, that has to be the scariest thing I have ever heard. Shannon has honestly been through so much, and it's sad that it happened at such a young age. Imagine your stepdad pointing a gun at your head. Jeez, that is insane. Can't blame her for loving food, honestly.
She's a beautiful woman.
After just a few months, he asked me to marry him, and we got married a few months after that. And we've been together ever since. I moved out of the nursing home and we got a place together. I was only able to leave the nursing home because I had him to care for me.
I think it's fair to say that her husband technically married Shannon and her love for food. Shannon feels bad because food has affected her marriage, and she hates the fact that her husband has to be the one to suffer for her addiction.
I've always looked past the weight, and also the weight's an integral part of the marriage. So once I see the weight start to come off, both our lives will change. It won't be the same. But I'm coming to terms with it because I just want the best for it. If I can provide that, then I'm happy to do it.
The last time I was weighed, I was at 670, and I'm almost 40. So I know I am killing myself with every bite.
Boy, am I glad to hear that. Shannon finally understands that she has to stop eating the way she does and has to start doing something about her weight if she really wants to stay on Earth any longer.
Mobility, okay?
Okay.
All right, so doing that and losing weight is going to be important to do. So you can come to see us if you travel down in the state you're now.
That went really well. Shannon has been able to reach out to Dr. Now. He tells her that he wants her to try to lose some weight before coming down to Texas to pay him a visit. Looks like she finally built the courage to take the first step in the right direction.
Then she'll just
spin around
and then go right down. There you go. There you go.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, Dad. Tell him we need all hands on deck.
This is already not good. I'm already where I need more help than my dad and Simon can give me.
Poor Shannon. You can see it on her face that she is about to cry. Shannon is finally ready to make the trip to see the doc, but while trying to get things into the car, she realizes that she can't fit in by herself, and it makes her really emotional.
Okay. On the count of 3, everybody goes. 1, 2, 3, go! No.
Just gotta shimmy.
Go! 3.
Oh, God.
Believe me when I tell you this has not been an easy trip for Shannon. She has had to make stops because her body is refusing to cooperate with her. This is her 3rd stop, and at this point, everyone is worried that she might not make it to the hospital.
And she's almost at 740 pounds. So whatever Shannon's weight was a month ago is either the same or higher now. So that's adding even more strain to her system to where she could have developed any number of life-threatening issues, especially with how sedentary she is.
I'm not even going to lie. Everything Dr. Now said about her condition made my heart skip. Shannon is in a serious condition, and there's a high chance that her body is at its limit, and she could have developed a number of life-threatening complications.
Hi, Shannon.
Hello, Dr. Now.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
All right, so we done some tests and you got multiple health issues, as you know. So we're gonna keep you here to address those before it's safe to send you home.
That honestly sounds like the best solution right now. Dr. Now says that she doesn't have any life-threatening conditions, but her health in general is very poor. He wants to keep her in the hospital for a bit before he is ready to send her home.
And I'm stopping, no matter how hungry I am, after I finish. I only get that portion, and I don't eat more than 20 minutes at a time, like the diet says. No more than that, even if I'm starving afterward, because I have to do better this time. And I have to lose the 150 pounds in the next 2 months, no matter what.
Let's hope that she is right. Shannon was eventually sent home, and she and her husband have been working extra hard to make sure that she loses all the weight she can. Let's pray that she's been able to lose a significant amount to get approved for surgery.
If I can't, Dr. Now is going to say I didn't lose anything or make any progress, and then I'm not getting surgery. So I have to do this. I have the progress. I know I do, but it's not gonna matter if I can't show it. I'm gonna have to stand up again.
Michael hates the fact that he has to be taken care of. For him, it is the most humiliating thing to ever happen to him, and it has destroyed his morale. He is 43 years old, and he has no idea what he could possibly weigh. Can Dr. No help him? Or is this fling to be a terrible failure? Well, his story starts like this.
Because of my size, just basic things are so hard for me now. But thankfully, I'm still able to at least get out of bed. I just can't go far. Usually I can only make it to the couch or the bathroom to freshen up for the day. But it's gotten hard for me because being on my feet, it gets to be very painful for me.
Trust me, Michael definitely dreads his mornings. He has zero to no strength to do anything once he is up. His weight has gotten so bad that he only has his bath every few days. Mean, that has got to be very depressing.
Folds one of my creases, it goes fungal. Then things can get bad for me. So Kim has to, powder me up like a baby on the bed.
Oh, baby. Everything is harder for Michael with all that weight. So one of the things is that his skin can get rashy, and so I have to make sure that I help him put lotion on.
Isn't that just cute? Michael's wife says that Michael is her soulmate. She doesn't hide the fact that taking care of him can be very stressful, given the fact that she had to do everything. But that doesn't stop her from being the best wife to him. He is lucky to have her for real.
We have 2 kids too. Xander, who's 17, and Liam, who's 12. So I get the energy to get to the couch, and then I just eat and spend my time there till I fall asleep or get tired and go to bed.
I've made a move out of a free.
So most of my day is just spent eating. And I love eating, but I hate how it's literally killing me.
Looks like the only thing that makes him happy is his ability to satisfy his stomach. Even with the fact that he knows that food is killing him, the best part of his day is when he gets to his favorite chair and shoves food down to his stomach.
So I stayed at home, I played video games, and I ate. And that was pretty much my life for a few years. And then things got worse for me when I was 11. My mother had signed me up for a kids' wilderness club thing, and a lot of the meetings were fine. But then we did an overnight camping trip.
Ugh, my God. I can't even imagine how Michael must have felt going through that. He says that he went on a camping trip and that the camp leader was a pedophile. He would have the boys stripped naked and he would do things to them. Jeez, what a traumatizing situation. No kid should ever have to go through such a thing.
By the time I graduated, I was probably close to 400 pounds. But it wasn't holding me back to the point where I felt like I couldn't live my life, as I was able to go to college after high school, and that ended up being a good time for me. College is when I finally got confidence in myself, and I started realizing that my size could be used as an asset, because I was able to get jobs doing things like being a bouncer at the club. I was basically a bodyguard, and I wanted to do that job better. And then that led me into martial arts.
Looks like he found a way to make his weight a tool. At this time, he was already 500 pounds. But that was not a problem for him because he was into martial arts, and that made him a better, stronger, and healthier person. But how did that all go wrong?
She had heard about me from a friend of a friend, and as soon as I went to this event, I see this black blur just bolting at me. And then I get tackled by this person, and it was my wife. That was Kimberly.
Michael and I met through a mutual friend.
If you were wondering what love at first sight looked like, I guess this is a perfect example of that. They both admit that they met each other through a mutual friend, and from the moment they saw each other, they fell in love. What a cute love story. And all this happened with Michael, weighing over 500 pounds.
So they put me under, going to surgery. I woke up a few hours later, minus a spleen. I was alive, but I was left with all this scarring in my abdomen, and in the end, the scar tissue was too extensive.
I had to shed a tear after hearing that. Apparently, Michael and his wife were both supposed to have gastric bypass surgery. His wife got hers, but Michael could not get his. He got into a really bad accident, and the end result of that was him not having his surgery. That sent him straight into depression, and food has become his best friend ever since.
Today I'm gonna go try to see Dr. Now. And I am not looking forward to it because I don't like going out in public. But I need to do this. So I'm gonna try and go get in the car and drive to Dr. Now's clinic. And Kim's gonna go with me. So we have someone who's gonna watch the boys for a little while.
Yay! I'm glad he is ready to take that bold step. Michael is about to make a 45-minute drive to see Dr. Now. He has finally agreed that it's time for him to get better and work on his weight. Well, let's hope his body can handle the stress of driving.
I think that you just need to have the mind frame that you need to have right now, okay? If all you can do is just hope for the next step, then that's where you need to be. You now have hope, which is something you've never had.
You know, every other doctor.
For a second there, I legit thought he was going to turn the car around and head back home. Michael was having an argument with his wife about not having hope, and she reassured him that everything was going to be okay, and Dr. Now would take him in as one of his patients.
And I'm about to find out how much help I actually need when the number on that scale comes up. I'm just hoping it's not up to anything like the 700s, because that'll devastate me if I see that. I'm both relieved and upset, because my weight's not as high as I was afraid it could be. But that's still a horrible number, you know? No human person should be at that weight.
Phew, in a way that's kind of a relief. Michael is just a little over 600 pounds. He was initially worried that his weight might be heading into the 700s, but thankfully, that's not the case. Now, let's see what the doc has to say about his condition.
I can't just have one chicken breast. Yeah. And, you know, it's like if I have a bowl of rice, my bowl of rice can be 2 or 3 cups of rice at a time. So it's just empty carbs. Or it'll be pasta. It'll be a pound of pasta.
Okay, if you say you eat healthy, but you just eat too much of it.
Well, you really can't blame him for feeling that way. Michael sees the doc and explains to him that the reason he hates stepping out to take walks is because he doesn't like people. And that is because he was molested multiple times as a kid.
We got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
We're willing to do it. You tell us what to do and we'll do it.
All right, so I'm going to bring you some instruction that I mentioned. Then we'll set up an appointment for you to go to therapy.
Okay.
So just try to change the course of the life that you have right now.
Yeah.
Well said, Dr. Now. Well said. The doc explains to Michael's wife that he needs to run some tests before he is sure that Michael can even have weight loss surgery due to the accident he had in the past. But first, Michael needs to visit therapy.
Hi, great to meet you guys. Thanks for coming in.
Yes, thank you.
Have a safe drive back up.
Hey, thank you so much.
To this homework.
I really enjoyed meeting Michael. He's super smart, and I think that that's going to be an asset to him. But I think, unfortunately, he's used his intelligence to create a lot of barriers to his current function.
Knowing Michael, that is not going to be an easy task for him. The therapist says that Michael is holding a lot of his last traumas, and he is not ready to let go of them. In order for him to move forward, he needs to accept his past and focus on what's ahead of him. Hopefully, he is able to do that.
And that with the scar tissue is going to prevent us from performing weight loss surgery on him. But what we may be able to do is attempt a hernia referral and use that as an opportunity to try to remove as much of the scar tissue as we can. And then if we are able to do that, see if all that is enough to resolve the issue so we can perform weight loss surgery.
Looks like Michael might not have an easy way out. The doc says that he has a lot of scar tissue in his stomach, and before anything can be done, he needs to lose 100 to 150 pounds of fat before the next move can be taken. Phew, can he do that?
It'll turn out just like I was afraid it would from the beginning, with another shattered dream on the floor for me. But I'm trying to stay as positive as I can right now and not focus on any negative. But it's hard without Kim. She helps center me. So I'm just struggling because of how much is going to be determined by the number on the scale. You know, it's impossible not to fixate on it and worry.
Like he said, it's progress, but not good progress. The doc wanted him to lose between 100 and 150 pounds, and he has been able to lose just a fraction of that. Let's see what his judgment will be.
Well, that's getting harder for you over this amount of time. But the fact is still that you have to lose enough weight to take the pressure off your abdomen so the surgery will be possible.
So you don't think 100 pounds is close enough to do the endoscopy?
No.
Okay.
You need to get closer to losing 150 pounds before we're ready to do that. Maybe next time, if you stick with it and get back on track, okay?
Very soon, Tammy might not have the ability to get out of bed if she keeps eating the way she does. All she does is eat, and at the age of 41, she has no idea what her weight could be. Either she starts to work on her without, or she might just lose her life. This is how she starts her journey.
Because of the strain I have on it. And every day it gets worse, cause every day something new hurts. And I just feel like I'm trapped in this body. Living like this is torment. And I hate it because I've let things get to the point where my daughters have to live with me to take care of me.
Wow, Tammy feels really bad about her condition because she is practically unable to do anything for herself. She stays with her daughters, and they are the ones who help her with every single thing she needs to do or wants to do.
Constantly have to have someone looking after me. And, you know, even my mom had to move in recently, too, to help out, too, since I have trouble doing anything by myself.
Within the past year or so, I've noticed she's having a harder time. So I stopped working at my full-time job and pretty much started doing home health for her. I help her out with a lot because it's way more difficult for her to do.
If we're being honest, Tammy's daughter loves her mom a lot. She says that she understands the fact that she enables her mother and doesn't allow her to do anything. But that's just because she loves her mom and does not want to see her in any pain or discomfort.
I think when you become accustomed to eating so much, you don't know how to stop.
I'm the one portioning her food. And in the past, I have enabled her. It became a pattern for me. If she wanted it, I would get it. No wasn't in my vocabulary. You know, I always tried to give them what they wanted when I could.
Looks like the guilt is going around everyone in the family. Tammy's mother also explains that she has never been able to tell her daughter no. Whenever Tammy wanted something or wanted to eat anything, she wouldn't hesitate to prepare it for her. The funny thing is, her mom eats the way Tammy does.
Me, my brother, and my mom. But you know, as a kid, it was very hard. I didn't know anyone. All of our family was back in California. I didn't have any friends. So food became all I had for a while. That was how I dealt with the loneliness in my life then, by eating.
In a way, I think we can blame Tammy's mom for how she turned out. Apparently, when she was much younger, there were no restrictions on food. But then again, Tammy's mother was just being the best mom she could be by giving her daughter anything she wanted.
It was a very happy time in my life. And when I was with them was when I had my 3 children. First, my oldest, Deontay. Then a year after that, I had my daughter, Serenity. And then 2 years after that, I had my youngest, Alizé. I got to be over 400 pounds over those years.
That's actually so cute. Tammy says that even with her weight, she met a man who loved her and never made her feel like her weight was a problem. It's always good to have a supportive partner to do life with you.
I'll never forget the moment I found out what had happened. He was murdered. He had a jealous girlfriend. She thought if he would come and see his children, he was with me, and she stabbed him with a knife twice in the heart. And when I heard that, I was devastated.
Damn, you can tell that her heart was broken into a million pieces. Tammy's relationship with her partner went on for 5 years, but they eventually split. They still loved each other, of course. But what broke her was when she found out that his jealous girlfriend had stabbed him with a knife. She just couldn't handle the news.
And do what you want, so I know something has to change. I have to change. If I don't do something different, I could very well die, because my body parts could give out at any moment. My heart could stop, my lungs could stop, even my knees could give out and I fall, hit my head.
Man, am I glad to hear that. Tammy has come to terms with the fact that if she doesn't do something about her current weight and eating habit, she might not be around to play the role of a grandmother for her grandkids, and that is going to be devastating.
So I'll have their help to do this and make it there, which is very important because my mom and my daughter are definitely my support system. I have a family that's behind me.
Wait, let me step down.
And that's the only reason I feel confident I'm going to be able to do this.
It's really good to see that Tammy's mother wants to learn how to be better for her daughter. They are all packed and ready to hit the road and meet up with Dr. Now. Let's hope she doesn't weigh something out of the ordinary.
Starting point is reasonable, and I'm where I think I am. Because I've known I'm around 600. I fluctuate, some above, some below that. But at the same time, I also know. It's been a while since I weighed myself, so I'm worried that the number is higher than I think it is in my head.
Well, she is right about that. Tammy is in the hospital with her mom, and her weight is just slightly below 600 pounds. In a way, that's kind of a relief, because she thought that she would weigh over 600 pounds. Oh well, let's see what Dr. Now thinks about that.
All right, that's good. But Tammy, this is all still going to be up to you, all right? So this is a life changer that you have to do to change your life to be able to live longer. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do that, okay?
Yes.
So if something happened to you in the state your body is in, like a cold or you fall, that's going to be first domino, push everything. You're not going to survive through it.
Haha. I can't believe the last time she was under 150 pounds was when she was in junior high. Well, the doc tells her that if she values her life, she needs to take control of what goes into her body, and that means stopping all the junk food she's been eating. Of course, the doc doesn't hide the fact that it's not going to be easy.
It's more encouragement to keep pushing myself every day and to not slow down. Even with how hard it is, I intend to succeed at this. And that's what I am working toward every day because I don't have a lot of time with my next appointment in a month. Don't walk with me, Bobo.
For someone who almost never gets out of the house, Tammy is making some serious progress. It's been 2 months now, and the doc wanted her to meet a certain target. She feels like she has and is ready to go for her next appointment. Is this her green card for surgery?
No, it is a set full time. But are you still sticking to your diet and doing the exercises?
No, not completely.
So have you lost any more weight?
I haven't lost any more, but I haven't gained either.
Well, I'm glad you're not gaining, but you need to keep losing because you still have a lot of strain in your body that you need to reduce. And that's only going to happen if you lose a lot more weight.
I know, Dr. Now, and I take that seriously. And I'm trying to do that as much as I can.